Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's going to be perpetually retro because we're going to play every video game in order of release. The only place where you can get a definitive evolution of the entire video game industry. We last left off in 1980. Welcome to 1980. We played the very well done Maze Craze for the Atari 2600, and let's press forward playing every video game. We finished everything in the 1980s. With a definitive release date, and so now we're moving forward with all the other releases released at some point in 1980 in alphabetical order. So we're in the ums. After Maze Craze, our next game is Megatack. Megatack. I've never even heard of this one. This is in the arcades. Let's take a look at the artwork for Megatack. Megatack. For the take you can count on. Oh, the take. Yes. All about that money. It's by GPI. Keep your eye on GPI. We saw several releases by them last episode. I love how it says at the bottom, joystick controlled. Yes, it's controlled by a joystick in the arcade, believe it or not. I have no idea what is happening with that alien, though. Mega attack, you're getting mega attacked by some creepy being, a three-eyed pink bubble monster or something. And there's the example of the arcade cabinet for Mega Attack. There is our control panel, yes, controlled with a joystick. And we have, oh, it's only left, right, and fire, though. So still the same control scheme we've seen across the arcades. Thanks, Space Invaders. And yeah, left, right, and fire. So easy to pick up and go, like any other thing we've seen in the arcades. Oh, nice arcade marquee. It is a Mega Attack by Game Plan Incorporated, GPI. Hey, welcome, Arcade Jeff. Never heard of this one. We're going to see what's up with Megatack. Here's the manual by GPI, Game Plan Incorporated. Another interesting design of an alien for Megatack. And this is the operator's manual, so it's going to go through installation and so forth. We're looking for anything about the game itself. There we go, game description. The reset mode, we don't care about the reset mode. Attract mode. After power up, Megatack automatically cycles through a sequence of video images. Okay, well, we know about that. Coin input mode at all times while the power's on, regardless. Yeah, we know that one too. Okay, game start mode. Yeah, I never heard of GPI either, but last episode we had several releases by GPI, Game Plan Incorporated. I thought we were going to see one release, but no, they kept coming. The computer scans the game start switches during the attract. Okay, so yeah, it's still giving us technical information, not anything about the game itself. Megatack consists of 4 or 5 turns. Operator can select that, which lasts as long as the player can skillfully maneuver their space pod to avoid destruction. When you lose the space pod, the GIP message reappears, accompanied by the GIP sound, and display the number of space pods left. After the last space pod is destroyed, the game over sound is heard and the game over message is displayed. That was so basic. That did not explain the game at all. Assuming it's a 4-pod game, looks like you move a space pod around the bottom of the screen and fire laser beams the left and right and straight up, accompanied by echoing laser sound effects. Whenever a laser beam strikes a monster or bomb, it explodes with a visual flash. Uh-oh. Apologies for any flashing lights. Looks like we might have some of those. When all the monsters have been destroyed. Okay, this is a very lengthy document that basically just says, shoot everything, and then if you do, you win. That's all I'm getting from this. So if we need to, we'll revert back to the manual, but let's see what happens when we step up into the arcade. This is by Tayo System, published by GPI, and this is Megatack in the arcades. Yes, Megatack. Oh, loving the color. It is very similar to what we saw with a game called Killer Comet. Similar bright colors on the screen, so it gets the job done. So here's the attract mode. Yeah, it looks like we're a ship moving left and right and firing. I'm seeing the star field in the background. Thank you, Galaxian. You've inspired a generation of shooters. All right, let's put a quarter in and see what Megatack is all about. Wow, GPI Game Plan blew up their title. All right, I'm pushing start. Player 1, 3 pods left. Whoa. That's it. Yeah, your first shot is a triple shot. That is the only button you have for fire. So I'm firing in 3 directions. The last game we played where we could fire in multiple ways was last episode's Killer Comet. And I'd say this one is more rudimentary because I'm only moving left and right and firing. But sound effects are awesome. We're getting the thumping, like the Space Invaders sound in the background. That's pretty cool. I don't know how I survived that one, but this is all it is. It's literally just move left, right, and fire. I bet we're going to have different enemies once I clear the screen. It's really cool having the triple shot. It feels like I'm almost using a spread fire from Contra, because after all the shooters we played, one button is all we got. Oh, and now we switched. We're now doing one single shot, and now we're going... Oh, it's going for like a bonus round. Yeah, it's splitting apart into pieces. And so colorful. That's awesome. Yeah, it's just breaking apart into several pieces, and we get this great bonus round. This is awesome. Yep, and then, oh, we now warp into one of them. Cool transition, love it. Oh, so this might be a different named Megalomania instead of Megatack? It's possible. If you're just now joining us, we played every video game in 1980, and now we're playing the rest of the games released at some point in 1980 in alphabetical order. So it is possible that Megatack just happened to be alphabetical first before the other one. There we go, and then we go to bonus round. Can't call it the first bonus round we played on the channel, but it is the most colorful, and it is very fun. Splitting into different pieces. And it's refreshingly, I don't want to say easy, but it's refreshingly good to play and plays really well, considering we've played some really crazy, difficult shooters. Oh, now I can shoot two at once. Oh, three at once? Whoa, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm so used to the one shot at a time. Okay, that's great. And then yeah, you move on to another set of enemies. And it looks like these ones are shooting off something that's exploding at the bottom, so I gotta watch my range on it. Oh man, yeah, the sound effects are golden. In fact, it almost sounds like this is just generic arcade sounds, what you'd expect in 1980 when you go to the arcades. This is how I want my ships to sound. This is how I want my lasers to sound in 1980. Oh, so cool. The death animation, he eats the ship, or he eats the space pod. That was killer. Usually we just blow up or move on to another one. Okay, here we go. How many shots do I get? Okay, yeah, you get three. 3 shots before it ends, so yeah, I'm gonna go to town on the bonus mode. Last episode we played a game called Killer Comet, and Killer Comet allowed you to shoot multiple directions any way you wanted to shoot. And then that was the first time we'd ever seen that we could move and shoot in different directions at the same time. And this game is allowing multiple the triple shot, and then whenever we get to the bonus mode, we can shoot 3 shots at once. And now, yeah, it's like the level now with the different enemies, I now have greater firepower, so I'm able to shoot more. It's almost like they're doing kind of what Mooncresta did with the upgrades, but they're not giving us the animation of like how we got the upgrade. We just, as long as we're alive, we're playing better. Wow. Oh yeah, it's more fast-paced, more frenetic, but man, it's so much fun. And addictive too. Makes you want to keep going, because once you get in the groove, reminds me of getting in the groove playing Galaga, or I guess most shooters. But wow, yeah. Now we're moving on to the next round. New enemies. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say it's pushing new ground, but it's doing something really well, making me want to keep playing. Love it. Oh, yeah. Okay, that is a blast. That is Megatack. So for the time, that is definitely 4 stars. We gave Killer Comet 4.5 just because of how good it is. Yeah, the bouncing dynamic, the way that they had the bonus round with extra shapes moving on the screen. And look, you can see over there on the background video snap, there was a lot of different enemies or waves of enemies you could fight. So, yeah, it's doing something really well. I don't know if I can give it the 4.5 because Killer Comet allowed like the evolution of seeing what's going to eventually become the twin stick shooter. That's why I gave that one 4.5. This one though, it's tight. I'm gonna go for 4 for Megatack. This is really good. Oh, Chiptune says average. Yeah, I can see that too. All right, so 4 stars for Megatack. What is next in our list of games? Oh, it's Microchess. Most likely the same we saw. We saw chess for the TRS-80 Coco, and this is Microchess. So looks like this is the one that was available for both the TRS-80 and the TRS-80 Color Computer. As you can see in the screenshots, yeah, TRS-80. So we already checked out chess, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing. Let's pop it in and see. Here we go on the Coco. This is Microchess, released sometime in 1980. Yeah, there you go. It is essentially the same game we had played before. So you pick the level of skill you want against the computer, and then can I go? Can I play? Let's see if I plug another controller in, maybe. Does it work there? Let's see if I go from... Okay, there it is. Okay, so it's being controlled. Does it use the joystick? Okay, it doesn't use the joystick, but it uses the keyboard. So the way it works is you move your cursor around the screen, you select one of the pieces, and then you're basically playing chess. And the last time we played it on the Coco, it ran really well. Played very well, too, considering other chess games we've seen. I also noticed that you look on the bar right above my shoulder. This is the computer thinking. So as it goes down, eventually it'll make its move. And the last time we played this on the Coco, it did take a while. But granted, think about it if you're a kid at home playing chess, and this is the game that you had, waiting a little bit for the computer to make its move isn't that big a deal. It's really nice that you would have someone to play chess with. Oh, wow, they bring the bishop already? And they already gave me check. Oh, we are playing level 8. That's why it's really, really difficult. Yeah, thank you. So they already brought out and got a check on us. So a piece of cake, you just move a piece over. No problem. Check avoided. I'm not thinking of the strategy. All I'm doing is playing the game and see how well it works. So there you go. Counting down on the side. The higher level that you play, then of course the computer's going to take longer to think while it makes its move. But really enjoy this chess game of how it plays. I know it does take a little bit of time for the computer to think. You can always bring the level of difficulty down and it won't think as long. But the ease of use, how you just select a piece and go, and the presentation works really well too. And considering we came from the 70s where we played chess games that you had to put in the coordinates of each piece to make it work is crazy. And I'm just moving pawns right now, but we won't get too much more into Microchess. It's essentially the same one we had played earlier, which was just chess. This is one that was available for both the TRS-80 and the Coco. Oh, that's true. So I think the one I'm playing on now is the Coco 2. I could double check that. So if I did the 3, we'd get faster speeds. That makes sense. Oh, that's right. It's in 1986. If we're trying to keep it period specific, we'll stay on the first iteration. Oh, that's true. And we can do fast forward as well. All right, so that is enough of Microchess, but yes, it's an excellent game to play. Gonna go for 3 stars for Microchess. The average, or what you'd expect for the time, plays very, very well. So 3 stars for Microchess on the TRS-80 Color Computer. One of the best, I wouldn't say the best, but one of the best chess games we played on the channel thus far. All right, so after that, what is our next game? All right, nice. Our next game is the copy or a slightly different evolution of Galaxian. So it should be playing pretty similar. This is called Moon Alien. Let's take a look at the artwork for Moon Alien. There you go. This is by Nichibusu. So possibly Nichibusu is doing a copy of Galaxian. Interesting arcade cabinet art there. I don't know why it's black and white. But there's our control panel. It's moving left and right in fire. And you can see it's using the same controls as Galaxian by Namco. And wrong screenshot, that would be Galaga. There you go, Galaxian. So many times they mix up Galaga and Galaxian in my research, but this is Galaxian, our copy of Galaxian. All right, so let's take a look at the manual. Is it? Yeah, the manual is Galaxian as well. So yeah, we won't be going there. Let's step up to the arcade and see what the difference is between Moon Alien and Galaxian by Nichibutsu. It's possible that it's exactly like Galaxian, just published by a different company and they renamed it. But so far, the boot up sequence is slightly different. So maybe they made a little adjustments when they made it into Moon Alien. Let's put a quarter in and see what happens. And push and start. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they made the graphics look a little different. Oh, I can curve the bullets. Oh, that is awesome. So Moon Alien is using the same PCB as my guess of Galaxian and just making a little tweaks because the ships look a little different, aliens look a little different, but the curved bullets, man, that's a nice touch. It feels like I have more control over where I'm aiming and how I shoot. Yeah, very nice. You look over for the comments for 1 second, and these games, it's so hard to do that. And you blow up. Yeah, big fan of Galaxian and Galaga, but we haven't got to Galaga yet. We'll pretend it doesn't exist. Yeah, same sound. Graphics look a little different, but I dig it. Moon Alien's pretty good. Background sound effects, same as Galaxian. And you can even see the patterns of the aliens. They're moving the same as Galaxian. And yeah, one bullet at once. And almost after playing Megatack, I feel like I'm stilted with the one bullet, or at least one bullet at a time. Oh my gosh, what kind of AI is? They programmed the ship to go back and forth really fast. I hope they're not getting me on accuracy because it is not going good. We have the same classic Starfield in the background too, just like Galaxian, and several shooters we've seen at the time. Oh my gosh, can I get the guy? See, he's it almost seems like we have a glitch on the side of him going off the screen and then reappearing. Oh my goodness. I might as well just crash into him and blow up at this point. And it sounds like the sound is... See that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's maybe Moon Alien's the more pro version of it. But they always had the last enemy going a little faster. Wow, oh my gosh. Yes, he's laughing at me behind the scenes. Really enjoyed the sound effects, though. It's so good. It is one of those other games that's so hard to talk while you're playing at the same time. You can't blink. Can't even blink. All right, so that was Moon Alien. On one quarter, we got quite a lot done, or a lot of bang for our buck. So for the time, that's very good, very well done. Essentially, it's the same as Galaxian. We're going to go ahead and go 4 stars for Moon Alien. It does... in fact, the video on the side is Galaxian. What we played was Moon Alien. Okay, 3.5. Yeah, I can see that as well. All right, after Moon Alien, our next game is Moon Alien Part 2, which means they just probably changed something slight different if it was released the same year in 1980. So there you go. There's the artwork. Nichibutsu just added a Part 2, and I wonder if it says, destroy the Moon Aliens, the Devils of Outer Space. Insidious attack by the Moon Aliens. Yes, doesn't say anything on the arcade flyer of what's different about Moon Alien Part 2. There's some examples of what the control panel would have looked like. Same controls. Yeah, it's most likely just a slight variation of it. Do we have different versions? No, just a newer and older version. So let's see. Moon Alien Part 2, released by Nichibutsu, also in 1980. Attract mode is essentially the same thing. Yes, right? Maybe we don't curve the bullets. All right, let's pop a quarter in and push and start. Interesting. We got an energy bar now. Does that mean we have health? Is Moon Alien Part 2 mean, okay, we can still curve the shots, still there. They tweaked a little bit of the controls. I'm feeling a little bit better moving left and right. I know you can only tweak left and right so much, but it does feel a little smoother. Bullets still curve. Energy looks like, I'm guessing it's based on time. Because it's slowly going down, I'm not doing anything, unless that's my shots. Let's see if I don't shoot. No, yeah, if I don't shoot, it still goes down, which means it's based on a time. I need to finish up and kill all the aliens before the time runs out. If that's the only thing that changes, that means probably because Moon Alien, the first one was so difficult, people were taking too long, like I was playing Moon Alien, getting the last enemy, that they have an energy bar that will kill you if you don't hurry up and finish it. Oh, but after a death, energy bar comes back. Okay. So they're just increasing the difficulty even more with the energy bar. Oh yeah, much easier on the last enemy. Yeah, the shooting does seem a little bit faster too. So just slight tweaks. Very interesting that at the time, they would consider this a sequel, but nowadays we see this and we would call it a hack. Someone just took the game, made a slight variation to it, and then played it, released it, or not even released it. It'd be just something that's changed just a little bit. But crazy that they would consider this a sequel. Nichibutsu is a publisher in Japan, so I guess in Japan, this is where Moon Alien and Moon Alien Part 2 were released. Yeah, the aliens are moving slower, so it's not as crazy hard as the first one. I walked right into that one. Game over. Well, cool. Again, I love seeing this very little evolution of the video game industry. So, same thing. We'll go and get that one 4 stars for Moon Alien Part. Well, you know what? Because of the unoriginality, I'm going to go 3.5 because it's essentially the same thing. I'll go 3.5 stars for Moon Alien Part 2. Why get Part 2? Part 1 was all right. All right, so after Moon Alien Part 2, the next game is Music. Music is a game. Who knew? On the TRS-80 Coco, most likely this is an application, not an actual game. So if we pop it in and we put it in the Coco, I bet this is one of the launch releases that is not necessarily a game. It is just to compose music, is my guess. If it boots for us. Uh-oh. Yeah, 2-voice music editor. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on then. It slipped in. So since it is not a game, we're going to give it 0 stars. If it was educational, awesome, but 0 stars for music. Moving on to our next game. After that, we have Night Driver for the Atari 2600. Excellent. So this is a port of what we first saw in the arcades, and we've seen this a few on 2 other consoles. So this is the 3rd time we've seen Night Driver that you could play at home. Let's take a look at the artwork for Night Driver. Wow. That Atari artwork is awesome. So we got 8 games in here, timed and untimed games. And there's the reconstructed box front. I actually enjoy the original, like, scanned box front, even though it might have tears or rips. The reproduced cartridge, it just makes me think of it as fake, like it really didn't happen. But we know it did. It was there. Oh, paddle controls, yes. There it is, yeah, from the back of the box. Get that fine-tuned driving controls. All right, so let's see what else we got. There's our cartridge for Night Driver. Something to note, going from console to console, we have Magnavox Odyssey 2, their handles on the cartridge. And the cartridge just shows you how to load the game. So whenever you have an Atari game, you have to get the manual to show you the matrix of which game mode to play or difficulty switch to select, and then you'll know which game you're playing. But Magnavox Odyssey 2, they put it all on the cartridge. So as it's sticking out of the top loader, you could see it all and pick the game you wanted. I kind of like that about Odyssey 2. No bash against Atari. I still say Atari's got it. All right, so after the artwork, here's our manual for Night Driver. And same front as the front of the cartridge. Let's see, for gameplay, you know what, we'll come back to the manual after we boot it up. Let's see what other versions we have. Looks like just European and the North American release. Okay, so let's pop it in and see. This is Night Driver for our Atari 2600. First time we've checked it out. on the home console. Okay, so this is the first boot up sequence. Looks crazy when you first play it. All right, let's see what the manual has now that we're in the game and the game's popped in. So it has gameplay. You're in the driver's seat and the track is just ahead of you on the television screen. Your car is permanently fixed at the bottom of the screen, shown by the image over there. And then all you have to do is accelerate, steer the car through one of the 4 tracks using the paddle controllers. When you veer off the track or hit pylons or incoming cars, you have a simulated crash scene, but the crash scene may have flashes, so be prepared if you're sensitive to those things. It's a good idea to read through the instructions. Yes, it is, which is why we are. So there's the paddle controllers. Love the paddle controllers. Works great on Breakout. Let's see, for console controls, they're explaining all the switches on the Atari console. Sometimes they do different things, but for this game, I bet it's the same. Looks like the difficulty switches makes your car travel faster. So if you change the difficulty switch, you can make the car move faster. And then the TV type is still black and white and color. We are going to see some games that use the or the TV switch to actually change things in the game, which is kind of cool. All right, so for game variations, here it is. It's really short manual. It's just showing we got novice, pro, or expert, and then random, and then we have time limits, and then novice, pro, and expert for time limits. So it's either timed or not timed for the games. And that's it. Honestly, this is kind of bare bones, considering we have Activision competing now with Atari. And the Activision manual has a lot more content in it. And it even has contests and patches that you can win for putting your game score in, which is kind of cool. All right, so back in the game, and there's the switch, by the way. We can go black and white or color. Let's go ahead and play just game mode 1 and see what it feels like. Here we go. So we have the accelerator. You just hold down the only button on the joystick, and you can see I'm moving left and right. Wow, jarring controls. Feels like we're going way too fast. I wonder what difficulty I'm on. Let me switch. Let me see if I can switch to slower. Okay, it doesn't look that much different, but yeah, the effect is a lot faster and jarring than what we saw in the arcades. Yes, the flash comes for the crash. Wow. Oh my gosh. What is cool, though, is when we played this in the arcades, the driving had to be tweaked a little bit because it was using an actual steering wheel. But here with the paddle controller, it actually feels good, but the graphics are coming through so fast. And it actually makes me feel a little dizzy whenever I'm driving a Night Driver. Looks like this is just the countdown. You go as far as you can based on the time limit. We get trees passing us, but wow. I can't say that it's giving me the feeling like I'm driving, like we had in the arcades. The arcade, and we also had on the Valley. The Valley had this game, and the Valley made you feel like you were driving. This one, it's a little bit more choppy, so I can't really get the experience like I'm driving a car. And the sound effects, it's almost the same sound effects as skiing. Whoa! However, I will give you this. If this was the only system you had, and this was your driving game, oh yeah, I could definitely get into how to play it. So there it is, the first mode. It shows you our time in the top left, what we did it on. Yes, there was one that was, if it was slower, I don't remember if it was slower, but we can switch the difficulty and we can make this go a little slower if we wanted to. I'm trying to think of the other driving games we played on Atari, because whenever the Atari was launched, there was another driving game, but I don't think it had this effect. It looked different. Yeah, it doesn't really feel too much like it's moving, but if it was 1980, this was just released and you had it on your Atari, you have to use some of your imagination, and we've seen that with other Atari games. The imagination to make it feel like you're driving. Let's try one of the other game modes, and let's try 6. So, oh my gosh, yeah, it's so fast. Wow. Let's see if we can go a little slower. Oh man, it's so quick. The accelerator is pushing me forward too quick. Look at that. Oh man. Okay, you know why? It's because we have different game modes: beginner, medium, and expert. We're now playing on. Let's consult the manual. Oh gosh. That was 7. Yeah, that was expert with no time limit. No wonder. So it's freakishly fast. So here's expert mode. Oh my gosh. It's almost like this is a simulator of drunk driving. Why kids shouldn't drink and drive. it's too much. Yeah, expert mode. Oh, I can't even. Okay, so let's try just 2. Round 2. Yeah, look how fast it's going. Wow. So even that's the medium mode. It's so much to take in. Oh yeah, I would say Dodge 'em would be a better game for sure. All right, so that was Night Driver. So considering everything else we could have played at the time, I can't really give that around the 4 range. Night Driver, I could see it being programmed smoother, better. It may have been something that was rushed out, but from everything else we played in the home console space, especially for a driving game, I don't even want to give it average. I'm going to give it 2.5, which is right down the middle. It's pretty typical for the time. Just doesn't hit the mark of getting like an average game. So we're going to go 2.5 stars for Night Driver. All right, so after Night Driver, our next game is Nike 2. I don't even know what Nike 2 is, but this is on the very obscure Exidy Sorcerer computer. You can see it over there in the bottom left corner. It used cassette tapes that you could pop in the side, and it didn't sell well, not very well known. Let's see if we can boot up and play Nike 2. I have no other information, no manual at all. We're just going to pop in the cassette and go. And got to consult the cheat sheet because it requires a little bit of finagling. Let's see if we can get this to go. And there it is. The cassette tape boots up and your ears are bleeding. It finds Nike 2. We're going to fast forward the sucker, throttle a little bit. Anytime we pop a cassette in, it takes a little bit of time. There we go. All right, so here we go. Degree of difficulty, we don't even know what we're playing, but we'll play degree 1 of Nike 2. Here we go. What is it? How do we play? What is Nike 2? All right, looks like we have planes flying across the end, and we have... Oh, I see. Okay, so you have different missile silos, and I use the numbers 1, 2, and 3, and I'm trying to hit the planes as they fly by. And you can see if the planes make it to the far left side of the screen, then they bomb, I'm guessing cities or buildings. But the only controls I'm using are the numbers 1, 2, and 3 to use the 3 silos that you see right over on this side. So timing-based game, very simple, gets the job done. And I didn't shoot that, but something shoot up and it said 66. And now they're coming in faster. So if you were one of those poor children that got an Exidy Sorcerer rather than an Apple II in 1980, and you played this game, this actually would be pretty fun for a few minutes, I would say. Because after you get the timing done, you realize there's nothing else you can do over on the far left side. And yeah, if you were watching the Night Driver game, we were playing on like expert. That's why it was going so fast. All right, so that was Nike 2. Nike 2, very simple game you could have played on your computer at the time. I actually see this as something, maybe we'd see it as a homebrew project or something you put into a magazine for code you'd write. Looks like it was copyright by Quality Software. Don't know exactly if Quality Software is legit or not. But for the time, that would be something that I would say is the lower end of everything you could play on the home computer up to this point. It is a time waster. It almost feels like we were playing a handheld. Something very simple. So for the home computer, I'm going to go ahead and give that one 2 stars, which would be the best of the bad. Oh, actually, you know what? We've seen something better. We're going to do 1.5. So 1.5 stars for the Sorcerer computer. And yeah, no sound. We didn't get any sound on that one. It was totally silent. The explosions were silent. Everything was silent. I know the Exidy Sorcerer had a sound chip and could have some kind of sound, but no, we didn't have it that time. All right, so after Nike 2, 1.5 stars, our next game is No Man's Land. This is in the arcades. Let's take a look at the artwork and see what No Man's Land is about. No Man's Land, we got 2 different advertisement flyers. This is the German advertisement flyer for No Man's Land, and then this one looks like it's an advertisement flyer for Electrocoin Automatics Limited. And this looks like it's by Universal. No Man's Land, a tank battle game which gives terrific excitement and becomes progressively more difficult with each screen. Of course, that's every arcade game, progressively more difficult. And there it is, the advertisement flyer that we had for Germany. Very interesting, just exploding the advertisement flyer with a cocktail cabinet in the background. And there's an upright cabinet example there. No Man's Land. Cool artwork in the background with the tank right above the CRT. Looks pretty cool. And there's the control panel. Terrible picture of it, but looks like we have four directional joystick with fire for controls. And there's an example of the screenshot. We do have a manual for No Man's Land. No way. Operation and service manual. Oh, okay. This is the Gottlieb advertisement flyer, which was one of the distributors, I'm guessing. I would say Universal may be the developers. Does it say anything on there? No, it's just Gottlieb. Okay, so for gameplay, destroy the enemy tanks, maneuver your tank with a control stick, fire your tank cannon with a fire button, and then get a score, and there you go, different scores for points, dodge the tank fires. So it is a top-down tank game. Don't see anything different about it, but it looks like, yeah, we have a Gottlieb version and the original version. So let's step up to the arcade and play. Oh, developed by Gottlieb, published by Universal in some areas. This is No Man's Land, released in 1980. Here we go. Yes, presented by Universal. All right, so let's pop a quarter in and see what No Man's Land is like. Push the one-player button, pushing start. Love the ditty in the beginning. Awesome. And here we go on the bottom tank. That's red and orange. I have one shot. Yes, one at a time that I can shoot. Tanks are coming in. And, oh, interesting. I can move diagonally. Every other tank game we played top-down was only 4 directions. And my mistake, this is an 8-way joystick. So more impressive than any other tank game. I know it's still a tank game. But you got to take the evolution and merits where they are, because these small little things that keep happening in the video game world are pretty cool. And don't adjust your volume. There is no music or sound coming from it. All we got was the ditty in the beginning, and that's it. No tank explosions. It's terrible. It's a tank game. We need to be able to explode and sound like it's exploding. What is kind of cool is we've played all the games in 1980 that we knew a release date for, and now we're going through the games that people just say it's released sometime in 1980, and we're still seeing this evolution of shooters where we play a new shooter and they change one little thing, like with Killer Comet, where I was able to move around in the space pod freely and shoot in different directions, like the beginning of the roots of Robotron 2084. And so this one is interesting because now I can have, I'm doing a top-down tank game, but now I have 4 directions that I can shoot. And it looks like it's progressively getting more and more difficult. Every time you finish a wave of certain color tanks, they come out with a different color. They palette swap the enemy and then add some new challenge to it. And feeling the 8-way joystick is pretty good. It's smooth. It works well. Also, considering we played tank games with only a 4-way joystick. But I don't think we're going to get anything else except this. This is it. Top-down tank game. The only thing that I could say is different or improved is the 8-way controls. Able to hit the tanks at an angle. And the enemy cannot do it. I haven't seen anybody that's shooting me that way. But I love that. It makes you feel more empowered. Like you're more powerful than the enemy. That's awesome. Pretty cool. Okay, so that was No Man's Land. Pretty typical for the time, around the 3-star range. It's not doing anything new or particularly better, except for the 8-way joystick and the tank controls. So I could see going above, like, for 3.5 stars, but considering all the other games we've seen in the arcades, I'm gonna go for 3, just pretty much average. Yeah, below Combat for sure. Combat at the home console is still where it's at. All right, so after No Man's Land, what is our next game? Our next game is Nukewar for the Commodore PET. I believe we played this for the TRS-80, and this would be the Commodore PET version, possibly. Let's take a look at the artwork for Nukewar. by Microcomputer Games, division of the Avalon Hill Company. Yes, we have played this one. It's the late 20th century, and I believe it was a user interface like text game for Nukewar. And you can see this one's running on cassette tape for our Commodore PET. No manual, and like all home computers, let's see if it loads. This is Nukewar for the Commodore PET, developed by Microcomputer Games Incorporated. And the first time we boot it up, it's out of memory. Well, because the Commodore PET needs to have different versions that can be run. So we can easily just go in our system. I can do a few finagling and switch it out to Commodore PET. Let's try 2001 and see what happens. Does it run? Nope, still out of memory. Okay, let's try 332B. There's a few different models you can try to see if it will run. There we go. So we picked the right model, and we're now playing Nukewar, copyright 1980. So it's first going to ask, what is your country's name? Let's go with, if it's our country, I'm going to go with UK. Wow. Okay, the keyboard is way off. Our country's name is Hugh. And enter doesn't even work. So it looks like the keyboard for this model is differently mapped than the keyboard that we have. So let's switch it out and try 3032 and see if that one works. All right, let's try it again. Does UK work now? No, it does not. The keyboard's still mapped because different models of Commodore PET were released in different regions, and so you can have keyboards that were not the ADSF keyboard layout. All right, let's try one more model before moving on. Let's try the 4016 model. We got some awesome sound effects there. No, didn't load for us. What about 4032? Anything. Okay, let's try it again. UK. Oh, yes. Okay, it worked. We found the right model and the right keyboard. You can see how difficult it is playing games on the home computer space, because this is one level of complexity, just picking the right model of computer that the game will run on. There's some games we're going to be booting up that we have to know exactly how much memory they're going to need because the game may run too slow or too fast. So many things. That's right. It could be a Exidy keyboard that we were playing on. Okay, so enemy country's name. Oh, we got to go Russia, right? Got it. That's the enemy country that we're going to nuke. All right, so the way this works is it boots up a grid, and we do not have the manual, so you have to know which orders to type in. So it's essentially a text-based nuclear war simulator game. And so you have to know the command for what your orders are, and then what quadrant you want to hit, and then it plays back and forth. It's like a more complicated game of Battlezone, if you want to, not a Battlezone, more complicated, a Battleship, the board game. It adds a little more complexity than that, but it's essentially the same thing. You pick a coordinate and go for it. Yeah, like Battleship. So I do not know the command for orders because we don't have the manual. So I'm going to try nuke. Oh, it's apparently read it. Maybe it read the N as new. So now it wants to know what type of base to build. I have no idea. Q. Yeah, so we have to know in the manual which commands to type for it to work. But essentially, that's the idea of Nukewar. And it's played out on a user interface that looks like this, all text. All right, so that was Nukewar. Again, we can't really get into it without the manual. I still want to hit and play these games and get a taste of what it was like to see this, because back in the day, if you had a simulator that you wanted to play and you got Nukewar and this was the one you were playing on your PET, you'd spend a while on the manual learning the commands and how to play it. And it would be a blast for those that if that's all they had. Okay, so for considering everything else we've seen for the time, Nukewar is, for the other simulators, not as well programmed. And I'm going to go ahead and give this one 2 stars because we've seen other games for the home computer simulators that could be played better. So I'm going to go 2 stars for Nukewar for the Commodore PET. Oh, yeah, it doesn't help that either. That's right. All right, so moving on to our next game. After Nukewar, what is next? Oh, it's everyone's favorite, Pachinko for the Odyssey 2. Doesn't look like a real Pachinko, though. It looks like a pinball game. Or it looks like a twist on Pachinko. If it was an actual Pachinko simulator, we'd breeze by it. But let's see what this one's about. Here's Pachinko for the Magnavox Odyssey 2. So much larger than life. You're right in the middle of the action. I don't know. We'll see about that. Here's the back of the box for the Magnavox Odyssey 2 Pachinko. It looks like they're trying something different. The Odyssey 2 developers have done some very creative things that we've seen on the channel, and it looks like they're doing the same thing for Pachinko. All right, so there's the example of the cartridge handle on top, and then it shows you how to play the game, but it looks like there's only one game in there. Just Pachinko. Yeah, and I heard from the chat, for those home computer games, if we can't get it or get it to run within a few minutes, we'll have to move on. Because, yes, spending hours and hours in the manual, no, we will not be doing that on the channel. If you had your hopes set on me browsing through manuals live, no, we will not. All right, so we will check out the manual if we have trouble with the launch. So let's pop it in our Magnavox Odyssey 2 and see what Pachinko is like. Here it is for the Magnavox Odyssey 2 released in 1980 by Magnavox. All right, so on the console, we push number 1, starting the game off, and it looks like I'm on the left. I'm the yellow or orange guy that's bouncing the ball around, and it looks like you try to get your ball in to score points. I'm playing against the computer. The right side red player is moving on their own, and I didn't have to plug another controller in. It's just going. And it looks like you're going to get points. Yeah, it's calculating the points. So it is. It's not really Pachinko. It's it is, I would say, a little bit of a gambling game, but it's more of you controlling a character that can move around and adjust the ball bouncing. Similar to Breakout, but instead of breaking bricks, you're just trying to get them to land on the top. So it kind of feels like we're playing a 2-player pinball. Yeah, you can even adjust you can see my yellow guy on the side that can adjust how they're going to bounce. So it's kind of cool. It's not necessarily a straight casino game. It does take, obviously, a lot of luck of where it's going to land, but to have 2 people playing together, it would be fun. You can see on the side, too, it's also going to add or multiply your points if you get it to bounce on that side. And look, we have a little guy in the middle that's bringing the ball over to me after the other player got a bunch of points. That's awesome. I keep bouncing in the 0 score area, so I'm not getting anything. And I'm not controlling the little guy in the middle. He's just running around grabbing and trying to help other people out. There we go. Oh, and every time it hits the ground, the point goes down. I see. Nice. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of cool. I was expecting just a straight-up Pachinko game, but we had control of one of the guys that was moving around on the side. I'd give that more of a pinball kind of game than a straight-up casino Pachinko game. So having 2 people to play with would have been so fun at the time. So for one of those kids that got a Christmas present and it was this, and this is what they were stuck with playing with their friends, I could see it working, sure. 1 star. Yeah, it's good enough, but I'm gonna do 2.5 stars, so it's not something that would be bad. This one would still have some enjoyment because I see it more of a pinball game that you're playing with a friend at the same time. So I'll do 2.5 stars for Pachinko. Don't toss it out the window. You can bounce it off the walls. All right, so after Pachinko, for 2.5 stars, let's go to our next game. Oh, here we go. It is bowling on the Intellivision. And we've already seen bowling on the Atari 2600. Their bowling was totally from the side view. It was like a 2-dimension side view bowling. This one is switching up where you start on the side view, it looks like, and then as the ball rolls down, it switches. Oh, that's pretty cool. So nice effect. And we've seen this one on Mattel. They're getting someone to promote or endorse the bowling game. And so this is the PBA bowling for the Intellivision. All right, let's take a look at the artwork for bowling. PBA bowling for your Intellivision. Excellent artwork. Oh my gosh, that kid is way too excited for bowling. The professional bowler that's on the front of the box is for those really hardcore bowlers. But then the kid freaking out on the front is for those kids that don't really want to play bowling, but it makes them think, wait, I bet I'll be excited playing some bowling. Yes, and this most likely will be very, very complicated, like we've seen with the other Intellivision releases. We'll call it depth. It has more depth to the game. There we go. Look at that. You select one of 10 conditions of alley slickness. How slick do you want the alley to be? You control the aim, curve, and loft, and deliver the ball to go for the strike pocket. Oh my gosh, yes. This is the most complex bowling game we played thus far, if it delivers. There's our overlay. Oh, nice. So this is what you'll put over the keypad for your Intellivision. Looks like different games to play. And then, oh man, how to move the bowler around and aim. Yes. And there's our cartridge for bowling on the Intellivision. PBA Bowling. I know they programmed this without the license ahead of time. Every single one of these was straight up tennis or straight up skiing, and then they ended up getting it endorsed later for the box. All right, so we'll boot up the manual. You know what? We're gonna actually we're gonna look at the manual now because we know it's gonna be complicated. Look at that, 1 to 4 players, alternating, of course, for bowling, and so electric lanes allow you to pick your ball weight according to your own bowling style. Set the amount of alley slickness. And when you're up, aim your ball carefully and select the amount of curve and loft and go for the pocket. Okay, Intellivision's awesome. Intellivision is amazing. At this time, majority of the games we played do not have a lot of complexity. They're a pop-and-play arcade game, or they're a quick play. And everything we played on the Intellivision, it does take some learning to you can't just sit down and play it. It takes a little bit. But if you've ever held an Intellivision controller in your hand, you have a disc at the bottom you can move around, and then you have a full keypad that usually has an overlay, and you're pushing all the different keys. You have 9 different keys you can push, and then you also have 2 buttons on one side of the controller and then 2 buttons on the other side of the controller. So you have a total of 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 13 buttons plus the disc to move around, and Intellivision uses that for all their games and lets you play so precisely. It's very impressive. It makes you feel this actually is the console of the future. It's doing more than the Atari did. All right, so object of the game it's bowling. We won't go through object of the game. And there you go, how to put the overlay over your controller, and then all the different controls. You can see we have keys number 5 and 6 is to select the game. The left buttons move your bowler on the start line. The right buttons loft the ball, and then you release the ball. So you have to push the top button and then the bottom button to release the ball. And then all the keys is to set the slickness of the yeah, I agree. All these games were programmed so well and complex that it should have surpassed, but I think it's that Space Invaders, the killer app, got more people to buy the console than Intellivision, and that's what happened. Okay, so getting ready to bowl. Press the disc, and it'll say select game. Press 5 for standard bowling game, and 6 to pick up a spare game, and then push enter. And then press 1 to 4 to the number of players. And then it'll ask for the slickness. You press 0 to 10. 0 is the slowest alley, maximum curve, 10 is the fastest alley, and most difficult. And then you press one of the numbers to set the weight of your ball. You can pick the weight of your ball. This is the most complex bowling game we've played thus far because we're playing every game in order of release. Wow, you can there you go, all the different numbers, and then after you pick your ball weight, then on your key, you put key E for left or right-handed bowler. You can be a left or right-handed bowler. Oh my gosh. So over here on the far end of the manual, it's showing us a picture of the screen. There's where the ball is, the bowler, start line, ball return, foul line, spotter. Oh my gosh, they got everything. And then for the game of bowling, it tells you how to pick up the ball. You press the disc, then you push the left side to move the bowler to the start line. Now you push, hold on, let me get my notes. Oh my gosh, because you'll need to know all the buttons to push before it's time to release the ball. When you've depressed the lower right button on the right side of the controller, you keep pressing it until you're ready to release. Then you let go of the ball on that side. So you move the bowler, and then you hold down, and then you let go to release it. Oh no, wow! While you're holding that, you use the disc at the bottom to show what kind of curve is going to happen to the ball. Oh my goodness. We're only halfway through the manual, ladies and gentlemen, of explaining how to bowl in Intellivision bowling. And then it shows you how to pick up spares. Oh, that's cool. The way if you didn't get a strike, you know how to pick everything up. That's pretty cool. And then it's going to show you how to score bowling. Okay. Summary of bowling controls. Okay. Amazing. Well, we might obviously refer back to the manual if we need to, but let's pop it in and see. This is PBA bowling for your Intellivision, released in 1980. There it is. Okay, so the first thing we do is move our disc, and it's going to say which game do we want. We're going to do game 5, so we select game 5, which is bowling. And then we push enter, and then number of bowlers, we'll do 1 bowler, and enter. And then slickness, we are not going crazy hard, so I'm going to go 1, which means it hopefully is going to go really slow. And then, yes, ball weight. Let me go back to the manual. Oh, it already pushed 1 for me. Dang it. Okay, so we got 12-pound ball, and then enter on that. And then the bowler hand was, I don't remember what it was for left or right hand. Yeah, okay, we'll do a right-handed bowler, even though I'm left. Okay, here we go. So we're starting off now, and we want to take the side of we want the left action button first to grab the ball. And I'm pushing the left action button. I thought it would. Oh, I forgot. You got to use, first you got to do the disc. Then after you do the disc, then you can move your bowler in the right position. And then you can go and release. And my first one is a gutter ball, of course. Even on the easiest difficulty. Yeah, maybe we should have made it super slick and the ball just flies away. So, okay, so here we go. Try it again. Going for the first one. Oh, I see. So you can move your bowler left and right, and then whenever you're ready, then you go for the... come on, right down the middle. Yes. I'm trying to get a curve. Come on, curve. Yeah, it's moving slow because we made the slickness so slow. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to crank up the slickness and make it really, really fast. So let's reset. Pop it in the cartridge again. Let's go for maximum slickness. I want that ball to fly down. Okay, here we go. So which game do we want? We want bowling and enter on the keypad. Number of bowlers. 1 bowler. Slickness. Wait, was 0 or let's do 9. Yeah, there. 9 slickness. And then ball weight. Let's go with 12 pounds. Can we go bigger? Yeah, 15, 16. Yeah, nice. 16-pound ball. Bowler hand. Now we can go left-handed. Yes. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready. So first thing you do, push the disc. Bowler gets a ball. And then now you go moving left and right using the side buttons of your controller. And then whenever you're ready, you go. Right down the middle. Go! Oh, it still seems slow. It didn't seem like it was any slicker than the other one. I was wanting super fast bowling. All right, trying it again. Let's go in. Going for the move and release. Oh, okay, I see. It still doesn't seem that fast, though. Whenever you're holding the ball or whenever you're ready to do the action, then you move the disc after that. And then the disc gives you even more degree of precision. Crazy that they had this at the time. All right, so going again. Trying it for and go, 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 go. Oh, gutter. Very similar to what we've seen with other Intellivision releases. You can't just pick up and go. On the Atari, we easily could. This one takes a little bit of practice. Oh, maybe it's too heavy. That's right. That makes sense. Thank you, Pretty 117. All right, so here we go. Trying it again. Let's go down and bam. Go, 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 go. I feel like I don't have any control over the ball after its release. Oh, nice physics, though, on the pins. The way they hit themselves off like that. All right, here we go. One more shot. And if you notice down on the alley, right above here on my shoulder, that is where your aim is. So after you decide where you want to go, you can see that there's a white spot that moves around, and that's where you'll know when to release the ball whenever you're ready. Let me try it again just because I noticed that part. Yeah, the bowling animation's incredible. The way this looks is great. And with all the precision of the controls, it does play really well. Okay, here we go. Trying it again. You can see the white dot moving back and forth now. And go. There. That's it. Go! Almost not a strike. So with a few chances, I've already gotten a little bit of the hang of it. Incredible bowling game. I say the best bowling game we've seen to play on the channel thus far. It is still bowling, though. It does take a little bit to get used to. You can't just pop it in and go. So I still want to give this one, for the time, it's very, very impressive. So I'm going to go 4 stars. It's not to the degree that it's going to like change the world of video gaming. But like the other releases we've seen on Intellivision, it is very, very good. So 4 stars for sure. All right, that was Intellivision Bowling. Intellivision PBA Bowling. Got to be specific about that. And that is where we'll end this evening, playing every video game in order of release. Who knows what will be next? Well, as you can see right behind my head, it's always a surprise, always a joy seeing the evolution of the video game industry. We will see everyone next time. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if you miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.